fear, and the head is held high where knowledge is free. Well, the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depths of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sands of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father. Let our country awake. Amen. Those literary scholars among us will recognize that poem from Rabindranath Tagore. He was the poet laureate of India. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1917, the year John Kennedy was born. He was a great friend of Gandhi. In fact, it was Tagore who gave Gandhi the name Mahatma, which means great spirit. He did not live to see India gain its independence. He died in 1940, which, if you're curious, is the year I was born. But in 1948, when India was granted independence from Great Britain, they used one of his poems. See, as Congresswoman Jackie Spears mentioned a little while ago, I was involved with a series a few years ago from the fall of 1999 until the spring of 2006. I was affectionately known far and wide as the acting president of the United States. Then, of course, it all fell asunder in the spring of '06. And since then, I've become affectionately known far and wide as the former acting president of the United States. And it's not easy getting used to such a downtrend. In fact, just coming over here yesterday at LAX, as I boarded the plane, I was greeted by a fellow passenger. "Good morning, Mr. President, Air Force One in the shop." All through the ride, there was an ancient couple seated behind me. Neither one of them had a clue about who I was, but both insisted that they did. And halfway through the flight, this ancient woman said to her equally ancient partner, "No, he is not Emilio Estevez's brother. He is Charlie Sheen's son." We landed, and as we were walking towards the baggage compartment, two little preteen girls came running up to me, and they were all excited and said, "Oh, sir, we love you. You're our favorite person in all the world. Please, do we have your autograph?" "Of course," I said, and I signed 2 autographs. And as they walked away, I heard one say to the other one, "I can't make out his handwriting. Who did you say he was?" You know, the older I get, it seems I get more forgetful, and I've been in the Bay Area quite often, and I may have met some of you, and know you, of course, but I may not remember your name or where I know you from, and I beg you, please do not be offended. I need to share in that regard just a brief story. This is terribly embarrassing, but it'll make the point, and you will understand not to take it personally if I do not remember you. About 10 years ago, I was invited to speak at an event at a very posh home in Beverly Hills, you know, where the overprivileged live, and I got there late on a Saturday night and couldn't find a parking spot and had to park blocks and blocks away. By the time I found the house and got back there, the supper was ended and they were all in the living room. And in fact, Steve Allen was entertaining on the piano. And the hostess said, "Oh, thank God you're here. Listen, we've already begun, but get a plate of supper, go out into the yard, finish your supper. When you're done, you come in and get the pitch." I said, "Grand." And so I got a plate of food, went out in the yard where they had all these tables set up, but there was no one else there, and I was happy as Larry. I finished my supper. And as I went up to scrape the leavings in the garbage can, a very beautiful young lady appeared right here and said, "Hello, Martin." And I looked, I said, I didn't have a clue. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I kept walking, and continued scraping the plate, and she followed me and got right here again. She said, "Martin, don't you recognize me?" And I said, "Oh, come on, you know, I'm going to be even and direct with you. I know you. I don't know from where. Please, just tell me your name." And she said, "I'm Paula Abdul." For those of you who are not aware, she used to be my daughter-in-law. Enough said. Late yesterday afternoon, I had the privilege of touring Shelter Network's Step 1 facility. It was an extraordinary experience. I'm deeply impressed by the staff, as well as the volunteers and the residents. And it is quite clear that Shelter Network has earned the long-promised blessing reserved for those who show mercy and compassion. And I want to thank Symantec for sponsoring this morning's event and for their very substantial donation to Options Recovery Service in exchange for my appearance here this morning. Options was founded in 1997 over in Berkeley. It is an extraordinary recovery program that deals primarily with street people, what we are referring to these days as the chronically homeless and addicted. We all know that homeless people get clean and sober just like all of us do. The problem is they end up back out on the streets, so housing was key. And Options has, at the current time, 4 houses for men and 1 for women. It was founded by one of my oldest and dearest friends and one of my heroes. She's here today. I just wanted to stand up. Please, Dr. Davida Cody. There's another gentleman, I know he's going to be embarrassed for me introducing him, but he also is one of my heroes. He is a municipal judge here in the Bay Area in drug court, which I have a very high regard for and a stake in. Please say hello and please take a bow. Judge Stephen Manley, please. Your Honor, I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but he is doing one of the most heroic things imaginable. Not only is he on the bench all day, he is taking care of his 2 grandchildren while their father serves with the military in Iraq. I've been an actor all my life. In fact, I have no conscious memory of ever not being an actor. I didn't know to identify as such when I was a child until I started going to the movies around age 5 or 6. And then gradually it dawned on me, oh, I'm one of those people up on the screen. And it was a comforting revelation, because I knew even then that I would never be happy unless I pursued that wondrous mystery that possessed me and gave me a possession of myself. But while acting is what I do for a living, activism is what I do to stay alive. And I'm often asked how I unite the two. The answer is simple. I don't have a clue. But it was less a conscious effort than it was a natural progression. Of course, you could grow up in a large, poor immigrant family. Chances are you're either Irish Catholic or Hispanic. I was lucky enough to be both, so I had a huge advantage when it comes to involvement in social justice.